All right, guys. Figured I'd do an update on everything that's been going on. So the last video that I have on YouTube of the Camaro, it is the 1980 that I had on this rack right here. And I had a 81 square body. As you can see, I don't have it anymore. As you could, I'm sure you could tell on how I was trying to think of what year it was. But a guy had a 1978 Camaro that ran and drove up in North Lewisburg, Ohio. I trailered the square body up there and traded for the 78 Camaro. Took it to one race and didn't do too hot. I did put a carburetor on it. I probably went a little overkill. It was a Barry Grant Demon 750 carburetor. Car did great driving down the road with that carb, and I probably put 4,000 miles on it before I decided to yank the engine and transmission out. It was a 355 with forged internals and 4-speed Muncie, and pursued back to doing the LS swap again. Ran into a few snags here and there. Crashed my daily driver going to work, and had to spend a little bit of the money that I had saved up for the LS to get another daily driver to go to work. I also bought I went to a car lot and got another loan on a vehicle. I got rid of the Nissan, and now I have a 2013 GMC Sierra. It was fully loaded and had under 100,000 miles on it, no rust, one owner. But yeah, there's that. And then the S10, we have it completely stripped down, which I don't know if I've talked about it much, but it's a 2000 Chevy S10, extended cab, regular bed, 2-wheel drive, was a 4.3 truck with a 5-speed, and me and my dad are building it for just basically play around, fun, street strip, drag truck. We're doing a 8.8 rear end, and it's getting a LS based engine with either a Turbo 400 or a Power Glide. Not really doing much street with it, really. It's more or less just going to be strip, but got a 8.8 rear end out of a 2000, or it's 97 to 2002 Ford Explorer. Has disc brakes on it and all that good stuff. But working on cleaning it up right now. Got it all the way stripped down, got the ring gear, the pinion, all that stuff out of it. Getting ready to take it out to a friend of ours and use a big pipe cutter and cut it off square, cut out the 2.8 inches and shorten it up to where then we just use 2 of the passenger side axles. And I know that won't be centering it up perfectly in the back of the truck, but that's really the cheapest option we can go with, because we just go to the auto parts store and get another axle and go that route. We're trying to go cheap on this one, just to make sure everything's going to work right, and then when it breaks, because it will break, then we'll upgrade to something better. The Camaro, it's basically just on hold. I decided I'm going to do a lot more safety stuff with it first before I put the engine and trans in it. I already have a transmission. I went and picked it up. And I just got to go through it a little bit, do a few things to it, and then obviously you got to have the engine put all the way back together. Decided to do a few improvements to, well, not really improvements, but just some other stuff that I'm going to do to that 6.7 stroker that I'm going to be putting in the Camaro. I'm going to buy the Summit rods and the Summit crank, all forged internals. I'm going to go ahead and use the domed pistons. Everybody says not to, but compression ratio will be a little bit high. If it holds, it holds. If it don't, well, we'll start back over again. But I want to shoot for high boost numbers, high horsepower, and see what breaks first. But I'll show you guys this rear end here. Here's the rear end for the S10. A big old mess of all kinds of different stuff. Got it from the junkyard for 150 bucks. There's the axles over there. Been cleaning it up a little bit on the inside, getting everything ready to go. Everything seems to be pretty good. She's a little bit dirty still on the ends. Still has a lot of cleaning left to go. Has a lot of wire wheeling left to go. Made a little bit of mess here on the floor. There's the center section, pinion, all that good stuff. Also, have a nice full spool for it. But yeah, that's an update for now. I've also got a set of drag lights for the S10. But for now, I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the morning. All right, guys. Well, welcome back. It's no longer morning. It's actually later in the evening. I got busy doing some other stuff, and we got everything completely tore down on the rear end, and we're starting to cut it down. We have to cut it down just under 3 inches. It's like 2 15/16 is what we got to cut it down. But we're running into a little bit of troubles. We got a big pipe cutter to cut it. We thought that was going to cut it square. It does not cut it square. There's a little bit of walk back and forth in the little wheels. So we got it all squared up now, and we got a good measurement. And now we're just going to use just a air cutoff tool. Hopefully that'll be our problem solver. But I'm going to show you guys the rear end. Here it is. This is how we're kind of measuring it to cut it. Got our measurement here, or I wrote this down to where we could, we'll know where to put the spring perch. Basically, this line that we got to cut, when it matches up with that, this weld will be dead in the middle of that hanger, to where then we'll have just pretend that thing's over here. We'll have a weld coming through here, and a weld coming through here for the hanger. And then you're gonna have your bolts on this side and this side of the hanger, so everything's gonna be able to hold it together a little bit better, in theory. This thing's pretty thick. I was pretty impressed. It's a lot bigger than what's stock in an S10. But soon will be the same length as this, and we'll be able to have 2 of the same length axles. There's wheels that we went and picked up for this. You gotta get some different tires for the front. Rears are a little old, but they'll work. Got everything boxed away, and we're good to go. Well, completely forgot to mention that we ended up taking I didn't go with my dad to take the rear end down there, but he took the rear end down to 10 Soldiers in Kentucky, and they talked him into 35 spline axles for 9-inch rear end housing ends and a full spool, and it's no longer going to be cheap, but it'll hold whatever he wants to put at it. And also another quick little thing, I was going to make a complete separate video on this, but the Camaro I am not going to run the Summit rods and crank. I'm going to just put the engine together the way it sits with some new rings, because I take blame, I messed up on that. And I'm going to run it for a little while NA, and then I'm going to pull it apart and put a full stroker kit in it, full forged internals, all of it, with dish pistons instead of domes. And hopefully by that time I get to a set of Recport heads. So thank you guys for watching. If you could, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.